Hey, I'm Craig Christoffersen. Welcome to Let the Light in TV. Today we've got the DJI RS3 Mini. Now, just to give you perspective for the rest of the review, this will cost you $360. So just keep that in mind whenever we're talking about product features and whether you would like to purchase it or not. So this is the mini version of the RS3. It weighs 2.1 pounds with the handle extension. This handle extension comes off, and so that would be the size without it, made for one-hand operation. But actually this little handle extension is really quite a nice little addition in the package here. It allows you to use two hands in operation of the gimbal, but it also splits apart to become a tripod to rest on whatever surface you would so desire. Now, for the payload that it can support, that can go up to 4.4 pounds, that is 2 kilograms. It charges via USB-C, and you can get 10 hours out of a full charge. Now, the battery is not swappable, but when you have a charge and runtime, when you have a runtime on a full charge of 10 hours, do you really need to swap the battery? So I don't think that's going to detract anybody from purchasing this product. Now, DJI is advertising that this travels well, and I would say that that is both true and untrue in the same time. See, this is the mini version, so yes, it does travel well. I have these arms locked in place so that it looks good for the review and it can stand up. So you can flatten this out a bit, but within your book bag or your carry case or whatever you're gonna travel, put this in whenever you travel, it doesn't compact really any more than that. Yeah, you can take the handle off, you can flatten it out a little bit, but that's about it. Now, other gimbal producers have included within the sale package a hard carry case, a hard travel case, which would be really nice here. Unfortunately, DJI doesn't do it. So is it easy to travel with? Well, yes and no. It will still take up room in your book bag. Although it will be unprotected because it doesn't come with any protective measures like a carry case that other gimbal producers add into their package whenever they sell their gimbals. Now, this gimbal comes with a quick release plate, and it has a little notch on it so that you can slide your camera up to the edge of it, and it's going to keep it in place. And I actually found that this was a really smart and nice addition. I've used gimbals in the past where the threaded screw that goes and mounts into the camera itself will become loosened over time just by doing your camera movements, and so you have to take it off, remount it, tighten it back up, put it back on. And I would say that this DJI quick release plate, having that little notch, has helped keep everything nice and tight and fitted down so that there's not any shakiness or movement throughout your production day. Now, this does come with Bluetooth capability in being able to control certain functions on your camera. However, only certain cameras are compatible for certain Bluetooth functions. So if you're going to buy this DJI RS3 Mini, what you're going to want to do is look up whether your camera is compatible or not for these features and whether that would be a deal breaker for you. Now, I am shooting on the Sony a6600, which is under the approved Bluetooth compatible devices. And so I went through the menu system, I swiped down, I went to connect to a Bluetooth, and something to be aware of is you need both Bluetooth connectivity turned on within the Sony menu system if you're using a Sony, as well as Bluetooth remote control turned on. You need both of those functions turned on, which I did. I tried to link it via Bluetooth. It came up, it took a while to search for the camera, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Which was a little more lengthy than what I would want it to be. And whenever I hit connect, it would go through its process, but it actually failed to connect, even though my a6600 is listed as a compatible device. I tried to search through different tutorials on how to connect and nothing seemed to work. So I'm not exactly sure why I'm having this error. I would have to get into contact with DJI, but that obviously isn't an impressive thing that my camera is listed as a supported device and yet was not able to connect to the gimbal itself. So a bit of a cause for concern perhaps, although I know Dustin in his review, his camera connected fine, so maybe I've just got something glitchy going on with my personal camera, who knows. And this gimbal comes with a couple of functions on the front of it. First of all, we have kind of a trigger button. Clicking that trigger button twice is going to recenter the gimbal. Clicking it 3 times is going to have it flip around into what is called a selfie mode. And so yes, you are able to vlog with this gimbal if that's what you're looking to achieve. Additionally, it also has a little dial here at the front, and that dial can be used for zooming in and out, which is a nice touch. However, if you are going to be doing a one-handed operation, moving your gimbal, potentially even moving the thumbstick on the back, that's quite a lot of things to do with one hand. So thank goodness they included this bottom second handle here to help stabilize the shot and just give you some extra stability, because using the thumbstick, using the dial, and trying to frame accurately your shot with one hand would really be quite a challenge. But the dial for zooming in and out is helpful if you are able to connect it, your camera via Bluetooth or by a wire. Now, another feature about this gimbal is that you can switch from filming horizontally to filming vertically. So if social media is what you are filming for, then what you can do is you can detach this little plate where your camera gets mounted, and you can reattach it up here. And this arm can actually detach itself. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to start fooling around with it too much during this review, but you can film vertically, so now your camera can be mounted right here, and you will likely have to rebalance the whole system if you're gonna do this. But if shooting for social media is your intention, then you can get your social media framing if you so desire to do that. So that's a little bonus. It can switch between horizontal and vertical filming. Also within that, whenever I first got this gimbal, it was a little bit intimidating, a little bit annoying. There was so many little flicks and switches every single place. You know, there's a bunch of locks and unlocks button. What does this do? What does that do? What does that affect, right? We've got a bunch of little silver tabs, and I was a little bit annoyed with it. It's like, this is just way too complicated. But over time, all of that kind of goes away. Once you get it balanced out, you're not adjusting it every time unless you are switching lenses quite frequently. And so that annoyance does die out after a little bit. But in balancing it out, there is a menu setting that will allow some assistance within that process. It'll tell you, you know, your tilt arm is a little bit off. If you could adjust it this way, that'd be great. And so it does give you some assistance there, but also within balancing, whenever you power on the system, within the top right of the menu, you're gonna see a little gimbal system that's either gonna be green, orange, or red. Green means it's a properly balanced and your motors aren't working too hard. They're working as is normal. Orange means it's a little bit off, but the motors can still handle the way that it's balanced. And then red means you need to pay attention and adjust something here because this just isn't gonna work. Now, what I really like about this gimbal is the customizability of it. Within the menu system itself, everything can be customized. We can customize the speed of our pan following, right? We can say, you know, I want you to rotate really quick, or I want you to rotate really slow. We can go in and customize that. For the thumbstick, we can say, I want you to go really quick, or I want you to go really slow. And in fact, we can go in and even set a custom setting of values from 0 or 1 to 100, and you can make it really slow or really quick or whatever you are doing to fit your desired need. And so the customizability to get what you want out of this gimbal is very impressive. So let's start to wrap all of this up. Let's make a conclusion here, right? We've got a $360 DJI RS3 Mini gimbal. What do we think about this thing? What is our closing thoughts here? And a while ago, I was using a Zion or Zoyan, however you want to pronounce that, crane gimbal, and I did really like that. I made, for example, this project with it, and I was very happy with how it turned out. I was happy with the smoothness in the gimbal's performance and the balancing in the way that it operated, and I was really happy with it. This is definitely a step up in customizability, and with a touchscreen menu, I really did enjoy using that. Now, I do have to say I would recommend locking the touchscreen whenever in use. I found myself, whenever I was using the thumbstick, I don't think I have pudgy thumbs, but I seem to tap the menu system very frequently during use whenever I'm using the thumbstick to navigate tilt going on. And so I would definitely recommend locking the touchscreen when in operation. However, I love the customizability of this DJI gimbal right here. And you could say, well, Craig, let's look at the competition. And that's a great idea. We absolutely do need to look at the competition and the price point that they are offering. If you look on, for example, B&H, you'll see the Zion Crane M3. It has an extremely similar design. It has an extremely similar specs, and it's almost $100 cheaper. So, why don't I go and buy that? Great question. And here's my answer to you. We all think differently, and that's okay. So your opinion's your opinion, and I'm not trying to argue. However, why not get the cheaper version of this, the Zion Crane M3, and save myself $100? Well, that's a great thought. And you're not wrong, but I've shot with the Zion Crane, I've shot with Zion products before, and they're good. And they'll save you money at the start. They're gonna save you that initial investment. However, my Zion Crane, which is sitting in my office right now, after 5 years, doesn't work anymore. My DJI products that I've purchased, for example, I've got a drone from DJI, that still works. And so sometimes buying the cheaper thing, yes, does save you money initially. However, sometimes buying the more expensive thing also brings more quality and means that it's going to last longer. And so ultimately your decision is your decision. I'm not trying to argue with you or do anything of that, but I just want to say I have had Zion products before. I've had the cheaper version of these things before, and yeah, it does save you money and that feels good, but they don't work years later. And so if you want this to last, if you want a gimbal that's gonna last, it's gonna meet your needs for a while, it's small, it's compact, it's very customizable, it offers you different shooting modes and options, then I do recommend the DJI RS3 Mini. It's been a great little tool to use. It's been smooth. I've got some great shots with it, and I do think that you will enjoy it as well. If you think you would enjoy it, then the purchasing links are down below. Just a reminder, there is a link down there. I've given a little description of best price here. And that link, what it's gonna do is it's gonna automatically search various stores and try and find the best price for you. So if there's a sale on, then it will find that sale for you. So if you wanna use that link, go ahead. But other than that, just use Amazon, B&H, whatever you are most comfortable with. I'm not trying to direct you any certain which way. Your choice, your life, you do what you wanna do. All right, that's it. Have a wonderful day, take care, and remember to let the light in.